దూరవిద్యా విధానంలో డాక్టర్ బిఆర్ అంబేద్కర్ ఓపెన్ యూనివర్సిటీ దేశంలోనే మొట్టమొదటి సార్వత్రిక విశ్వవిద్యాలయం. దాదాపు 2.5 దశాబ్దాలుగా దూరవిద్యా విధానం ద్వారా కంప్యూటర్ కోర్సును అనుసంధానం చేస్తూ బీఏ, బీకామ్, బీఎస్సీ డిగ్రీ కోర్సులను అందిస్తోంది. పోస్ట్ గ్రాడ్యుయేషన్ స్థాయి, డిగ్రీ, డిప్లొమా స్థాయి కోర్సులను ఔత్సాహికులైన విద్యార్థులకు అందిస్తోంది. డెవలప్మెంట్ స్టడీస్లో సెంటర్ ఫర్ ఎకనామిక్స్ అండ్ సోషల్ స్టడీస్ ద్వారా ఎంఫిల్, పీహెచ్డీతో పాటు విశ్వవిద్యాలయమే స్వయంగా దూర విద్యా విధాన అంశంపైన పీహెచ్డీ వంటి పరిశోధన కోర్సులు ప్రవేశపెట్టింది. రాష్ట్ర వ్యాప్తంగా సుమారు 4.5 లక్షల మంది విద్యార్థులు ఈ విశ్వవిద్యాలయం నుంచి ఉన్నత విద్యావకాశాలు పొందుతున్నారు. డాక్టర్ బిఆర్ అంబేద్కర్ సార్వత్రిక విశ్వవిద్యాలయం స్థానికంగా స్వయం బోధనా పద్ధతిలో ముద్రణ రూపంలో రూపొందించిన కోర్స్ మెటీరియల్ అందిస్తోంది. కోర్స్ మెటీరియల్ అధ్యయనానికి సహకరించే విధంగా రేడియో, టెలివిజన్ పాఠ్యాంశాల ఆధారంగా కార్యక్రమాలు ప్రసారం చేస్తోంది. అధ్యయన కేంద్రాల ద్వారా ఏర్పాటు చేసే సలహా సంసర్గ తరగతులు, సైన్స్ ప్రాక్టికల్ సౌకర్యాలు విద్యార్థులకు స్వయం అధ్యయనానికి ఒక చక్కటి అవకాశం. ఇవి విద్యార్థి సమీపంలో ఉండే అధ్యయన కేంద్రం నుంచే పొందొచ్చు.
Hi viewers, on behalf of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Open University and my own behalf, I welcome you all to this live teleconferencing program of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Open University. Friends, today's topic for discussion is consumer behavior and marketing research. To discuss this topic, we have taken the same topic from the course called Consumer Behavior and Marketing Research, which is meant for MBA third year students. And friends, it is also useful for the students of MCOM as well as MBA first year students of even Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Open University. Friends, today we are here to discuss the topic consumer behavior and marketing research, and this topic will be covered for 1 hour, and first 40 minutes will be discussed the topic and remaining 20 minutes will be available for you to interact with the resource person and to clarify your doubts. And the present topic for discussion is consumer behavior and marketing research. And friends, consumer behavior and consumer market. So, to define the concept, the buying decisions of buyer behavior varies from person to person and situation to situation. To understand this, why all we as consumers, why we are varied from one person to another? Because our age is different, our background is different, our income levels will be different, gender group and also profession varies from person to person, and their purchase pattern will also differs from person to person. To know all these things, how consumer behaves while buying a consumer goods and services in a market. Here consumer means one who buys a goods and services for his personal consumption. He may be a individual or a household, but whatever goods and services he purchases, it will be used for personal consumption, and all these final consumers are called consumer market. And if we talk about consumer market all over the world, we can say the world consumer market consists of 8.1 crores billions of population who consumes at an estimated worth of $8.1 trillion worth of goods and services annually. When it comes to India, Indian population is about 120 crores plus, but our market consumes is about $12 trillion annually. That is the market pattern. What the Indian consumers are buying goods and services at an average, that is per annum. So, to know all these things, and at the same time if you talk about the US market, though US market consists of 300 million population, that is consumer pattern, the consumer same consumes as well as the Indian market consumption. So, how consumer pattern varies from US market to Indian market we can understand. So, to understand all these things, consumer makes many buying decisions every day. So, to know all these things, today we have two subject experts to discuss about the consumer behavior and marketing research. One among them Professor H. Venkateshwarlu, Professor of Commerce, and Director, Center for Distance Education, Usmania University, Hyderabad. Next to him is Professor P. Purushottam Rao, former Dean, Department of Commerce, Usmania University, Hyderabad. And we will discuss about the topic for about 40 minutes, and remaining 20 minutes will be available for you to interact with the resource person. And today's topic covers nature and scope of consumer behavior, determinants of consumer behavior, role of family and reference group on consumer behavior, and what is the importance of marketing research and how it takes process. And also we discuss the marketing research advantages and problems involved in the process of conducting marketing research in India. And friends, today to interact with us, you have to make use of telephone numbers, which are I am going to read. The number one phone number is 040-2703-1431, 040-2703-1432, 040-2703-1433. I repeat the same number, 2703-1431, 32 and 33. Sorry. And friends, now we will discuss the topic and by asking Professor H. Venkateswarlu, sir, what is consumer behavior? How we need to understand the consumer behavior as a marketeer?
Yeah, consumer behavior needs to be understood in the context of Indian market and Indian consumer, as just now you said, and US and Europe. There is a basic contrast, and that should be understood by the marketeers and as well as the consumers and academicians. In US, most of the consumers constitute the middle class, but whereas Indian consumer spectrum is something that of a pyramid kind of a thing, that where you have very few top class consumers, then more of middle class, maybe 40 to 50 crores.
Right.
That itself is a huge market, and then below poverty line. So these are the three clear segments of Indian consumer market. Then regarding the consumer behavior, the consumer behavior is a part of human behavior. Then human behavior is diverse, human behavior is motivated, human behavior is rational, and human behavior is interdependent. That is, all these factors are the base of understanding consumer behavior. And then from the student point of view, what a student has to state about consumer behavior is, it is the behavior exhibited by a consumer before the purchase, during the purchase, and after the purchase of a product or service. That is, it's almost an overt kind of a behavior, and lots of studies and lots of work has been done in the area of consumer behavior.
Professor Purushottam Rao, can you describe the nature and importance of consumer behavior?
Consumer behavior, as explained by Professor Venkateswarlu, it's a very complex and a dynamic subject, and consumers will be, their attitudes and other things, behavior will be changing from time to time. Marketers need to adopt the strategies on the basis of the consumer behavior. Consumer behavior basically is a dynamic one, it's not a static one. Their income levels will be changing, their background will be changing, their job profile will be changing, and also the neighbors and colleagues and family influence will be there. So that's why here any marketing strategy which is to be adopted by the marketer, it should be based on the consumer behavior. So as I told you, it is not static, it is a dynamic one. So our marketing strategies need to be changed from time to time depending on the behavior of the consumers. What do they buy? Why do they buy? When do they buy? How do they buy? How do they shop? These are all the important things, and they will be changing. That's the reason why consumer behavior is the most important aspect for the marketers to design, because ultimately the objective of marketing is to reach the consumer, to make the consumer to prefer their brand, and also create brand loyalty. That can be done only by understanding the consumer. Consumer behavior is nothing but understanding the consumer. So by understanding the consumer, we can definitely design. That's the reason why it is very vital and crucial for any marketing decision.
Professor Venkateswarlu, what is the scope of consumer behavior? Can we elaborate
Yeah, the scope of consumer behavior is a very large, wide, and even the deep also.
Okay.
Like you have different types of consumers. There is an individual consumer, there is an institutional consumer, there is an industrial consumer, there is a consumer for service. So, I mean, like, the scope is very vast. At the same time, the consumer behavior needs to be known in terms of, as Professor Rao has said, like what products he is buying,
Right.
and what are the motivational factors, and because the scope depends on understanding the marketing strategy. To develop a marketing strategy,
Right.
consumer needs to be known in depth, and all the factors relating to the consumer should be known, and all these things come under the scope of consumer behavior.
Okay, Professor Rao. So, Professor also mentioned about what is the scope of consumer behavior, and now you please explain the factors influencing consumer behavior.
Yeah. Scope, we have said, individual consumers, institutional consumers, organizational consumers, like that group behavior and other things he has explained. And I have rightly said, this is the crux of the topic, the factors. What factors will influence? On what basis the consumer will be able to take the decision? It is not one or two, and different situations, different factors will influence the consumer. Sometimes the multivariate factors also will influence the consumer. Cheap and best, he says. One is the quality, one is the price. Two factors are coming. My colleague has purchased, I am buying. The social factor is coming. Or I want to be distinctive from others. So, like that, different factors will be influencing, which is very important for the marketers to observe what factors are going to influence the consumer decision making process. So, broadly, for the convenience purpose, later we will discuss in detail, but the factors can be classified into 4 categories: cultural factors, culture and subculture and social class. Then you have the social factors, the family. First is the family, then the colleagues and neighbors and a reference group, lifestyle. These are some of the personal, what you call the social factors. Then you also have the personal factors like economic factor, income, occupation, education, gender, the place where they are living, either in rural or urban. These are some of the, what you call the personal factors, and we do have certain psychological factors which also influence the consumer, like perception, learning, motivation, attitude and beliefs. Broadly we have classified. There is no watertight compartment, but these are the basic factors which normally influence the consumer behavior.
Professor Venkateshwarlu, before going to the different behavior models, consumer behavior models, how these 4 factors are different from each other?
Yeah, actually these factors should be classified into 2 or 3 different areas.
Okay.
One is individual,
Right.
the factors concerning the individual, and the second one is the factors concerning and coming out of the society, and there are factors concerning and emanating from the environment.
Right.
So, there is one factor which is influencing himself or herself, then there is a social kind of a thing, then there is environmental.
Okay. Before the, see, to understand all these 4 factors, what is there any other models or models to understand the consumer behavior?
No, actually, I mean, when we go to the theory, there are many models based on the research work carried out by the marketing professors across the world, and these models are studied by the students of all premier management institutions, and these models are they take the origin from as Professor Rao has said, all those 4 or 5 factors. A lot of work has been done. Then there is one, first we take a model from the Marshallian economic model.
Right.
Then we have Pavlov's learning model. Then Veblen's model is there. Then stimulus response model is there. One of the most comprehensive models that we have been almost talking about and practicing and doing a lot of research is a model by John A. Howard and Jagdish N. Shetty. It's almost 35, but it's the most comprehensive model on consumer behavior, covering about 25 to 27 variables, which explains how exactly the process, how consumer decides upon a brand, because always brands are there, so many brands are there. He has to pick up one brand, let's say he's purchasing. So each model has its own relevance, and each model has set up a theory which is very, very crucial to the marketeers and as well as marketing researchers.
Okay, Professor Rao, what is Marshall and Pavlov models, and how these two are different from each other?
Yeah, fine. As Professor H. Venkateshwarlu said, there are different models which are developed by different experts in the marketing area, and particularly in their own field. Economists say that economic factors are the most important factors which influence the behavior. Psychologists say that psychological factors only will influence, and sociologists say that man is a social animal, social factors will influence. The models which you have asked me, one is the Marshallian economic model. All of us know Alfred Marshall is a great economist. He has also, apart from economics, he has also developed a model in consumer behavior. That is what is called the Marshallian economic model. He has taken the consumer behavior or consumer decision making is a result of two important factors. One is the quality, and the most important thing is the price. Economy and the quality, these are the two important things. And he says that consumer takes a decision of the products and goods and services which maximize the utility for the consumer. So naturally they will utilize the utility will be maximized when the products, cheaper products are purchased, and they will go for the more products. But nowadays if you see, the fashion, latest fashion is the most important thing. Even though he is not having so much of income sources and other things, instead of going for 2 or 3 products, he is going only for one product. But this Marshallian model is based on 1 or 2 important assumptions. He says that man is rational, but nowadays consumer is not rational. He is rational to some extent, because income levels definitely will influence the consumer. Lower and middle income people always will try to buy a product which satisfy them, where the utility, their purchasing power will maximize their utility. In that context, cheap and best, there are so many cheaper products which we are seeing, they are successful. But we are also seeing the products with the highest premium price of the same product, they are also successful. So there it's a social, prestige, status and other things. But here this theory of economics is price and the quality. To some extent it is relevant in certain context. It can be taken, but it cannot be totally accepted. So that's why it has got its own advantages, utility as well as the limitations. This is the Marshallian economic model.
Yeah. What about second model, that Ivan Pavlov?
Learning model. Ivan Pavlov, he has developed a model called as the learning. So behavior is, we learn something through our experience. Right. So the behavior is modified through our learning. If your experience is good, if you go to a hotel or if you go to a shop or you buy some brand of the product, if you are happy and satisfied and the performance of that product is more than your expectation, naturally you feel very
satisfied,
happy and satisfied.
Right.
So next you formulate some idea, opinion about that particular product. What is that idea? Oh, this is good. Yeah. And then you will go for repeating, reinforcement, that is called as reinforcement. Suppose for a moment you are not very happy about that particular product or the brand or the shop, a person, whatever it may be. Next time what do you feel? You formulate an idea, this is not a good product. So if you are good and happy, you learn that it is good and you generalize, you go for the repurchasing again and again. If you are not happy, then you are dissatisfied. You don't go for it. And secondly, you will also tell others not to go for it. So that is going to have some what you call the impact. Here 2 or 3 important terms they have used. One is the drive, then is the cue, response and reinforcement and extension. Drive is the stronger stimuli which forces the person to go for it, and whereas a stimuli is a weaker what you call the motive which helps or facilitates the person to go for the decision. Then response is experience. Then response 2 ways. If he is happy, reinforcement, otherwise extinction will take place. That's why marketeer should be very careful in making the consumer feel happy. and he will go not only for that particular product, in future also he will go for the same company products or the same brand. That is what is called as the learning model.
Professor Chokandeshwar, what is SR model and Howard-Seth model of consumer
I
behavior?
would just like to add a little to the consumer behavior. First, basically should be known, like there are two. One is a physiological drive. Always consumer is wanting to satisfy.
Right.
So physiological drives are known. Then consumer behavior is again guided by the need for satisfying psychological drives. This is one. Then apart from the two models, then there are two more very critical and very important and also comprehensive models. One is a stimulus response model. Stimulus is one, stimuli are categorized, there then response, and consumer is treated as a black box. So consumer mind is a mystery, consumer behavior is unknown, and somehow we will come to know of consumer behavior by the response. So therefore we are calling it as the stimulus response model. Then on the top of the black box, there are two categories of variables which work continuously that drive consumer towards a decision. They are again categorized as internal factors or external factors. So basically, they are psychological and social variables. We can call them such as learning, perception, motivation, attitude. So all these things are very innate, they are individual, and they continuously work on the consumer, and always they influence the consumer. Other factors in, mostly they are social, that I think we will be discussing a little later. Then coming to the Howard-Seth model, as I said a little earlier, there are so many variables, but again this also treats a consumer as a CPU, that is a central processing unit, which takes the inputs into it, which processes in between, and there is an output. The inputs are marketing stimuli. Let's say there are three brands A, brand A, brand B and brand C, in a way from which the information that you will be receiving continuously. So there are four variables in Howard-Seth model. One is the inputs, which continuously flow into the mind of the consumer. Then there are extraneous factors such as time pressure, finance and other organizational factors which will be influencing on the top. Then there are endogenous factors, that is the consumer mind itself, which processes. There you have search for information, perception, sensitivity and all these things. And finally at the end, the Howard-Seth model talks about not just one buying or not buying is the response, but this model explains a hierarchy of outputs. There where we call it as IDA, that is attention. First consumer is attentive, then probably he develops some interest, then he develops a desire, and finally goes on for action. The action is purchase. So this is how the model is considered as a very systematic model in the academic world, in consumer behavior and also in marketing domain.
Professor has made an attempt to describe the SR model and the Howard-Seth model of consumer behavior. So what is the influence of family on consumer behavior, Professor Rao?
See, these consumer models, as you suggested, different models say different things. The applicability should be taken depending on the situation. All models are not applicable all the time. As you rightly said, consumer mind is a black box. What he says, what he does, sometimes there is no relationship, because we have done some research on consumer behavior. They said we bought these products, but from where? Local shop. When we have inquired the local shop, those brands are not available in the shop. So how do we say? So that's why for social status and other purpose, sometimes consumers also behave differently. So it is very difficult to understand them. Though the models have been developed, the merit of the model, utility of the model is to be taken into consideration. To that extent we should apply, but more and more research should go on its through the observation.
Sir, one I may add regarding the models and also the factors, they are not to be taken in isolation. All these together, that's Howard-Seth, SR, economic, psychological, social, all these things together they influence the consumer to take a decision.
But whereas factors has no reference, whereas models have some references.
Yes.
Yes,
Because
yes.
earlier research has been done.
Sir, these
because there
models
is
are
evidence.
developed from these factors only,
Yes,
sir.
yes, yes,
Economic factors, social factors,
From
psychological
consumer
factors.
behavior.
Right, right.
From the consumer behavior, from these factors,
Right.
those are the experts. Based on those factors, they have developed the models. They have made it as a little bit scientific.
Right, right.
So the cause and effect relationship,
Relationship.
something like that, they have developed and they made it as a model.
Right.
But the base is the factor only.
Factors only.
Factors only.
Field research,
Field research.
field research, exploratory studies,
Yeah.
all these things they
Right.
can, I think.
So we
Yeah.
are talking about what is the role of family
Yeah.
on influencing the consumer behavior.
In social factor, family is the first one.
Right.
The husband and wife, the children constitute a family. So any decision that is to be taken, so what is the role of the husband? What is the role of the wife? What is the role of the children? That is very, very important. Here, I would like to tell you there are certain buying roles.
Right.
For any decision, first initiation should be there.
Right.
So then influencer will be there. Initiator, influencer, decision maker, buyer and user.
User.
These are all the roles which are there for any consumer, what you call the pattern and consumer decision making process. So here the initial stage, first one is the initiator. Neighbors bought a big home theater. Children will come and they say, or children will go and watch the TV there. Wife will tell, or children are going, why don't we go for? So children and the wife are the initiator,
Initiators.
and like that they have the roles. Buying roles we have to take into consideration, and particularly in the family, group decision will be there, individual decisions will be there. For the consumer durable products and the shopping products where heavy investment is required, car, house and other things, it is a joint decision of the wife and husband. We
So
have to
even
take.
marketer needs to know what is the family size of the consumer also.
Yes, size of the family and the role played by the family, who is initiating, who is influencing,
Right, right.
and who is taking the decision,
Who is using?
who is using the product and who is buying the product.
Yes.
Suppose a baby product is there, mother takes the decision, servant maid will go and buy it,
Right.
but the child will be using that product.
that product.
User is also important for us.
Right.
So these are the roles, family roles they must understand. Suppose color, car I am buying.
Right.
We decide which brand and what budget and other things. But my children have decided which color we have to go, which model we have to go. So color is the choice of the children, car is my decision,
Right.
the brand and the color is their decision. So that's why here, and again
Yeah.
we should also understand, like West Indian women also is nowadays working. Most of the metropolitan, not rural,
right.
metropolitan cities and the headquarters and other things, most of the women are also working. They are also involved the decision making. Earlier, 90% of the decision is made by the males. In rural area till today, 70% of the decision is being by the what you call the house head. But whereas the situation has been changed, children are buying all the soaps and other products and other things for not only for them, for family also.
Which is not
They are-
known to other family members.
yeah,
That is
so
head of
that's
the family
why
also.
the marketer should understand what is the changing roles and where we have to initiate the, because everywhere you have to design your marketing strategy, it should touch them. They should initiate, they should influence, and they should decide, and they should use and buy it. This is what is very, very important as a family is concerned. It's one of the important social factor. Family is the first one in the social factors.
So how the personal factor influencing consumer behavior, Professor Rao?
Personal factors, definitely they will influence, sir. They are the most important thing. See, I have income.
Right.
No, income. Income is
So
the
when you
personal
are talking about family playing a vital role, so what is the role of personal as a family head or the one who is going to purchase
yeah,
this?
here these are two
product?
different.
Right.
A
is what
family
we
is a
want to
social factor.
Right.
But when you ask the personal,
Right.
his individuality, his personality, his income level, his education, his occupation, his profession,
right.
his socio-economic background, these are all the personal factors. So, as he said,
Person and family is a unit.
unit.
Right.
We cannot separate them.
Right.
But these are factors which in family
Right.
you have higher income and lower income.
Lower income.
Family will take the decision, but their decision making will be influenced by their income levels, their education, their occupation, where they live, their socio-economic background.
But Professor Venkateshwarlu, see the brand awareness among the children particularly is very high when compared to family members.
Yes.
Maybe head of the family or wife or husband. So what is the role of children?
Children these days are influencing a lot
Right.
in the family. The proportion of influence of children on the purchase of many products, probably including tea powder brand
Also.
or including TV set or
Right.
it's because actually it is the impact of the media, even the social media,
Right.
even the social groups,
Right.
all these things, and the children are active and intense influencer. They will not stop unless you buy that product.
Right.
So therefore, the children, they have a lot of impact on the brand decision making.
Sir, all parties used to be done at home, now weekends.
Right.
The children are most influencers to take them out to the hotels and eating and other things.
So, Professor Venkateshwarlu, what is the influence of reference group on consumer behavior?
Reference group is a very important influence on the consumer behavior. One at the direct level, second at the indirect level.
Right.
So the direct level is as you interact from school age. So you are going to a school and then you see other children, what they are using. You call it as face-to-face group. Then you call it as peer group, the friends whom you meet, all colleagues,
Right.
all employees together, IT employees,
Right.
university employees, or maybe all civil servants, that's a peer group. So you keenly observe what your other person is buying,
Right.
and lot of impact, lot of decision making is likely to be done in the same group. So you buy one brand of car, all doctors are likely to end up buying the same brand of car because there is an establishment that yes, doctors can use this particular brand. Then the indirect reference group, that's very, very impactful. Actually, the marketeers,
Right.
they have been using this from our last 60 years, 70 years also. Like if we take the reference group is whether it is a woman or man or a boy also, he has a reference point, that is who is the standard for him in his life, who is the ambition for him. So therefore, a person, whether it's a boy, girl, man or woman, has somebody in his mind, he would like to reach or he would like to at least follow.
If you take the case of rural market,
Yeah.
so children who going to school may be influenced by his teachers.
Teachers also, that is one immediate group.
Right.
That is again,
Right.
but what I am
Right.
talking a reference group is somebody who is known
Celebrity.
to be a cricketer, celebrity.
Right.
It is a cricketer.
Right.
No, it's a cricketers are now you
Yeah.
see so many brands are
Yeah, right.
being promoted, lots of business and
actress.
lots of crores
Right.
of all these things.
Then what is the difference between individual buyer and an organization buyer?
There is a lot of difference. Individual buyer buys for his individual consumption,
Right.
and institutional buyer buys a product probably to consume for others,
Right.
and probably to buy, probably will buy to make some other product.
Right.
So we call it as a kink demand kind of a thing.
Right.
Continuous.
So there, as an individual, probably I am more influenced by, as just now Professor Rao has said, I am influenced by my family, my children.
right.
But whereas in the case of organizational buyer,
Right.
such impacts are ruled out.
Right.
That is, he is more a rational buyer. In terms of number, there are few buyers. Let's say, Indian Railways is there. It buys huge number of
You can
products.
say industrial goods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Industrial products are there.
Rules,
So there is a rationality.
Right.
There is a system. Purchase points are more. There are procedures also. So all these things, they make an organizational buyer distinctly different from the individual buyer.
Right. Professor Rao, so far we have discussed different factors, models, and different groups and all this.
Yeah.
What is consumer decision making, and what are the stages involved in the process of consumer decision making process?
Okay. There is no procedure as such as far as the consumer decision making process.
Right.
Of course, textbooks and experts say that
Because
there
it is not organized.
Yeah, there is a decision making process. Definitely, anything, if I want to buy some car or a house,
Right.
definitely I will go through certain steps.
Right.
But there are two types of what you call the products. Habitual buying
Right,
behavior
right.
and specialty buying
Can say
behavior.
convenience products.
And
Yes.
Shopping
products,
Yeah.
durable products and regular products, routine products.
Routine.
For routine products, we need not follow any
Procedure. Right.
Just simply
Go and buy a-
paste is over, you go and take it. Tea powder is over, you go and buy it. Just you place the order, refill, pen or whatever.
Right, yeah.
These are the what you call the convenience products.
Right.
Right. But whereas for certain
Shopping goods,
shopping goods are the
specialty
durable
goods,
goods and
right.
which where the decision involves heavy amounts and which cannot be reversed,
Right.
which is a long term use and other things. Certainly certain procedures are to be followed. Am I right?
Right.
Then here for the procedure also there is no hard and fast rule.
Right.
The procedure is laid down in textbooks and experts and other things.
Okay.
Definitely that's a very good useful for theoretically and also practically for the marketeers, and we need to go certain steps. The first one is what is the need identification,
Right.
or recognition of the problem.
Right.
Then second thing is collecting the information,
Search for information.
gathering the information or
Yeah.
search for the
Right.
information. There are different sources of information,
Right.
personal sources. My friend, I'll ask him.
Right.
Whenever I buy something, first I will ask him, or I'll ask a person who is having some knowledge into that particular field.
Right.
Then we also go for the commercial sources like advertisements in TV, newspaper and other places. That's we search for the information, we gather the information, that the information will be analyzed,
Okay.
classified and analyzed. Then we develop certain alternatives, then we choose the best one. According to me it may be best. According to me, same data, same information, some other may be best for him,
Yeah.
because it depends on his situation, personal factors,
Personal
just now you
factors
said,
come into picture.
and also the liking, some of the
Right.
psychological factors,
Right.
family influence, friends influence.
Yeah, true.
So then we'll take a decision making.
Right.
And the last step is execution. Execution is actually buying the product. Some people now go to shops, ladies particularly,
right.
to the what you call the cloth shop.
Right.
They will select the sari and other thing. They will go outside, see whether the color in the light and outside is correct or not.
Yes.
They will select two and they will select one,
Right.
and go to the counter,
Right.
ask them to make the bill, but suddenly they say no, please wait, again we'll see, we'll go out of.
Right.
So like that, decision making is over,
Right.
but execution is also important to complete the
Right.
purchase.
Professor Venkateshwarlu, so far we discussed about the different factors, but now what is a post-purchase behavior? How a behavior behaves after purchasing a particular goods or service?
Post-purchase behavior is a very interesting phenomenon in consumer behavior.
Right.
It all happens like you purchased a television brand.
Right.
You go home, your purchase is over. Like
Over,
now
right,
I am
right.
starting from,
Yeah.
already you have purchased a sari.
Yes.
Let us take the same
Yeah,
example, and
right.
you go home and you keep it there. Neither your son is asking nor your daughter is asking this sari is good.
Or
Even your neighbor also is not recognizing.
Right.
That is after the purchase is over.
Yeah.
Then the lady starts feeling so difficult,
Right.
and she starts comparing of the sari which she has purchased and of the sari which she has not purchased in the same shop.
Right.
Oh, should I have purchased that sari? So what the consumer is doing, very interesting psychological feeling, is the benefits of the sari not purchased versus the demerits of the sari purchased. So we call this as the opportunity cost. So my opportunity is gone.
Right.
Why did I buy this particular brand? And
right.
somebody says, "Hey, you paid 2,000 rupees for this sari." No, it's so again. So we call this as kind of discomfort,
Right.
or in terms of behavioral language paradigm, we call it as cognitive dissonance. In fact,
yeah.
a lot of theory does exist,
Right.
given by Leon Festinger. It will be we will advise the students to follow this particular theory, because actually it is related to the marketing strategy, marketing communication, and to the company.
Right.
That is what this theory says is, just don't address your communication to the potential buyer, but also address your communication to the buyer who has already purchased. Say,
Right.
Papa, you have done a good job, you have done a
Right,
nice thing,
Yeah.
you are a very wise consumer.
Right.
So that's what, so you should be otherwise what happens is, problem is word of mouth. This is again a
It's important
big psychological phenomenon that exists in consumer behavior. Word of mouth is, the moment you go to a movie, come back, the word of mouth, why I am taking this example is, in movies, word of mouth only runs.
Right.
In 3 days, the movie either is successful or unsuccessful, movie is collapsed just because of word of mouth. There is nothing else. That is, a buyer, once he purchases the brand, he comes back and says something about it.
Right.
And which is very influential, that he says, yes, this brand is good, you can go ahead, or this brand is not good, don't go ahead. No, please don't.
Okay.
So this is how the post-purchase behavior, out of the 5 or 6 steps in consumer decision making is
Process.
buying.
Right.
Buying.
Right.
And what happens after buying? All these things complete
Right.
the consumer behavior decision making process.
Right.
And a marketeer needs to study, needs to be aware of, needs to be conscious of every stage what consumer is doing,
Particularly post-purchase behavior.
particularly post-purchase.
So then what is marketing research, Professor Rao?
Yeah, marketing research. Before I go to that, here learning model is also
Right.
related to
Okay.
post purchase.
Okay. Right.
Cognitive dissonance,
Okay.
what is said.
Okay.
They cannot avoid it, but they should try to reduce it.
Okay.
Reasons why
That's
they
the
are not
point, that's
happy.
the point.
That's what he has mentioned. Now coming to the marketing research, consumer behavior and marketing research, they go together.
Okay.
So what is research and what is marketing research? It's a scientific and systematic way of collecting the information or the data, analyzing it and interpreting it with reference to a particular marketing issue. It is a problem solving process,
Right.
which helps us to diagnose, which helps us to design, which helps us to what you call formulate a strategy to face a particular
To
situation.
minimize the cognitive dissonance of the
Yeah, that is also one of the
That
research
could be
is
one of the factors,
them.
one of
So
the
it is any one of the marketing areas, it can be studied. You want to go for a new product,
Right.
Which product, where, which consumers, what they expect, how it is going to be there, or sales are coming down for a particular brand in our organization.
What is the reason?
What is the reason? Why this has come down? Is it because of the product, or is it because of the competitors' more advantages, or is it because of the existing consumers, what you call the socio-economic background has been changed? What is the reason?
Right.
It's like a doctor doing in a lab, you know, in a pathological lab, diagnosing the disease problem. So that is the what is called as
So
the
we can say marketing research is a systematic process of collecting, gathering, recording, analyzing the
information
data relating to problems of
marketing and submitting a solution for it
Right.
in the form of a particular suggestion or report or recommendation.
Okay, then what is the importance of marketing research?
Yeah, the same I would like to continue.
Right.
Marketing research is carried out by a professional organization.
Right.
Professional organization is employed by a company,
Right.
and there are two things in any business decision.
Right.
The one is risk. Any decision you take, there is a risk.
Right.
The second important thing is uncertainty.
Right.
So business decision always is associated with risk and uncertainty.
Uncertainty.
Then how do you make a decision? So you don't make a decision based on the intuition, but based on the information.
Right.
So here we are talking about the whole marketing decisions. So all marketing decisions, whether it is a product, what should be my product?
Right.
Research is required. What should be my price? Research is required.
Right.
What should be my advertisement, promotion? Research is required. What should be my distribution strategy? Research is required. So the importance of without marketing research, you do not identify the consumer need,
Right.
consumer behavior,
Expectations.
what consumer wants, how a consumer is satisfied.
Right.
So your strategy is basically dependent on the research input and the research information
Right.
is given to the company or is taken by the company to develop the marketing mix and marketing strategy.
Right.
So it is very fundamental. Even today in India, many organizations are doing a lot of marketing research. You also call it as market research. And from time to time, there are many brands, though we may not be able to quote for various reasons.
Right.
Many brands have come out of the result of the research carried out. As Professor Rao has said, it is a scientific, you know, you go to the consumers and basically ask, okay, what do you want? What is your age? What are the factors? As we discussed in consumer behavior. So this is not data. This is all the information coming to the company to understand and then to develop a base and then to develop a strategy.
Most companies going for conducting market research
Yes.
continuously.
Yes, yes. Many of the companies, particularly
Large
companies and particularly the consumer product companies.
Right.
You take, you know, bathing soaps, or you take
Right.
consumer durables, consumer non-durable products. Industrial products, you know, they don't do a lot of that kind of a research, but they do a lot of product research. You know, they go into the research labs. They, you know, they rely more on science.
Right.
But whereas this is a human science, human psychology. So it is continuously, it's a probe.
Right.
It's an investigation, and it's a search on the consumer behavior and also the competition,
Right.
and also the sales, So various
factors.
things are. It is run as a course, like as you are doing.
Professor Rao, then what are the steps to be followed in conducting marketing research? Is there any formal steps? Right.
There are. See, marketing research also, as he said, very, very important in the era of globalization.
Okay, right.
In the era of globalization, so many new products are coming.
Right.
And so many products are becoming outdated very, very soon. Use and throw system we are using. Earlier, if you buy a watch, it used to be lifetime, a scooter. But now, mobile phones and other things, computers, using only for some time and throwing it away, exchange schemes and other things. These are all the schemes which are adapted by them as the outcome of the vertical research result. As you asked, I will come to that particular point, the steps in marketing research. First basic thing is, it's like when do we go to a doctor? Again, I take the example. When we have some problem, if a small fever, we'll take a tablet. At our level, it's okay. It doesn't come down for 3-4 days, then naturally we see the doctor. He's able to diagnose it, he will prescribe something. If he is not able to do it, he refer it to a different what you call the tests. Finally, MRI also, he may ask for it, and X-ray and other things. Like that, marketing research also, volume will be there. At our level, we take a step. If it is not possible, then we will go for at a lower level or smaller level research, or for a professional what you call the organization which conducts in a very, very systematic manner. And first basic thing is identifying the need or the problem. What is the problem? What you want to study? Is it the price? Is it the new product? Is it the demand? Is it the promotion? Is it the distribution? What you want to study? That is the problem it need to be. So that's why in marketing or in research methodology we say a well-defined problem is a half-solved problem. You must be very clear about what is your problem. So that is the most important what you call the particular step, first step. Then you design the marketing, what you call the research design. What to be done, when is to be done, what is the data which is required, where it is to be collected, how it is to be collected, how it is to be analyzed, when it is to be done, in what form the report is to be.
Representativeness.
It's a blueprint kind of a thing. How you carry out the whole research. All things are put into the research design, and it's a plan of action.
Like constructing a house will have a blueprint, a plan, and accordingly architect will see whether it is coming out or not. In the same manner, not to deviate from that, the research design will help us to go in a particular manner. So in research design, all the things will be there. The next step is data collection, information gathering through observation method, through schedule, questionnaires, and different methods are there. Now time is not there, so we will gather the information, and mostly in the case of the individual consumers, as I told you, they are very, very complex, and other things. Observation is also most important thing. We will collect the information, we will gather the information, and the information which is gathered will be interpreted according to our purpose. The problem, for what purpose you have collected, accordingly we will interpret and draw certain inferences. We draw the conclusions, what is the reason, what is the cause, what is the effect, how it is going to be there, what should be the demand after 1 year, 2 years, ultimately whether the project is going to be good or not. Then after that we will interpret the information and data, come out with a report. That is marketing research report, which contains all the things, including suggestions and recommendations, which will be the base for the marketeers to adopt the marketing strategies with as it is or with certain modifications and discussions at their level. It is for them to take this as the basis and suggest or design a marketing strategy which will be useful for the particular company for solving the basic problem.
I will just add a small suggestion, small point on this. The research, how it helps. I am a telephone, cell phone marketeer. Suppose I have only 2 or 3 colors. These days we are getting more colors. Now let us say there are some 100 consumers. Now which color is liked most by? Is it pink? Is it white? Is it black? We find only mostly white, and so we find black. So like the research gives us the input and the information for us to act and take a decision.
So then what are the advantages of marketing research to the consumers? Then we will talk about what are the advantages to the organizations or marketeers. So Professor H.
Consumers, they get benefited because marketeer and the company understands which quality is to be made, which price it has to charge,
Right.
and also the delivery system, and also the information. That is, research is, it is giving the result of information to the company.
Right.
Company is producing according to the consumer need. So the major benefit to the consumer is need satisfaction.
Okay.
So I mean, his choices are getting narrowed down, and he is getting a better quality brand or better quality product. So that's what it is a continuous cycle or continuous process.
Then what is society is going to drive the benefit from the marketing research?
Yeah. Here, sir, one more point also I would like to add.
Right.
The so much of technology,
Okay.
so many facilities.
Right.
It's the result of outcome of what you call the marketing research.
Okay.
You know, because the marketers create the demand. They will create the need in the minds of the consumer.
Right.
We never thought of the mobile phones and so much of what you call the hospital facilities and other things, which are the result of what you call the marketing research, where the facilities are being created for the consumers.
Particularly
With an
technology, you mean to
yeah,
say.
technology. So much of technological development is the result of the marketing research with an intention to create demand for their products, which is not there in the minds of the consumer, but whereas the marketer is very clever and intelligent. He will make the other products what you call obsolete within no time, and he will come out with a new technology and the new product and new strategies and other things. Always, unless there is a benefit for them, they will not go for it. They want to improve their performance. They want to what you call the brand image and other things. For various purposes, they will conduct the market research. Ultimately, it will benefit the marketer through the consumers. Because unless consumer prefers that particular brand, unless you delight him and satisfy him, so your company will not grow.
we can say
One more angle also, through marketing research, we will identify what problems are faced by the consumers.
Right.
So we give always the example of cooking.
Right.
You know, like we have come up to the microwave and all that kind of a thing. So every consumer problem identified through marketing research, as Professor Rao has said, it will go into the lab.
Right.
Then a new product is developed.
Right.
So that's how identification.
But all the marketing research which are conducted by being conducted by organizations are not successful. What are the reasons?
Yeah.
That is nothing but problems or difficulties faced by marketing researchers.
Difficulties, yeah.
So what are those difficulties?
You are very
Good.
true. The difficulty lies reliability of data,
Right.
and also the procedure followed in the scientific process.
Right.
And the investigators employed.
Right.
And one more typical problem with our Indian market research, I can say, you go with a questionnaire to the villages, to the rural consumers.
Right.
You do not communicate properly on what you would like to receive and what you would like to get. With the result, you have something in your mind and you get something else in mind. You report something else, and ultimately a bad decision is taken.
Right.
So these are the 3-4 major. One is probably your questionnaire, scientific process is not followed. The right sample is not selected.
Right.
Sample,
Right. Size.
Proportionate sample, representative sample should be taken, and then the people do not respond, and the investigator is not very efficient, not trained. Also,
Trained one.
lot of training is required. So these are all basically not the problem of marketing research, but basic problems associated with the conduct of any research program,
Right.
the conduct of any social research or any kind of research methodological issues.
But any big issue or discussion will face certain difficulties also.
Definitely.
Right here. Then how do you classify Indian consumers? Because we had discussed whole consumer behavior, marketing research also. But there are different categories of consumers, rural, urban, and all. So how do you classify in an Indian consumer particularly?
Indian consumers, marketeers, what they have been following today, basically it is a rural and urban consumer. Rural consumer is distinct, urban consumer is distinct.
Right.
And today the basic market factor, consumer behavior factor, what is to be understood by the marketeers is the youth consumer.
Right.
The demographic factors, if you take, who are the more consumers, who are the more powerful consumers, who are the spend consumers, they are the youth. Now the brand choice, how the branding is going on, what are their emotional factors, what are their income factors, what are their exposure factors, you know, a lot of international exposure is going on. And then one more great demographic shift and demographic trend what we are seeing today in India is the women employment and women empowerment. You know, they are getting jobs, they are getting incomes. So they have their own brand choice. As we said, you know, children are influencing.
Yes.
Today women take individual decisions. So these are the 4-5 major things, and city population is growing. So rural versus urban, you know, cities are becoming more, and rural consumer also is more knowledgeable, is more discriminative thanks to the media. You know, you go to any small village, you have media presence. So there is a lot of awareness.
Professor Rao, in addition to all the methods and models that we have already discussed, is there any other scientific methods of conducting marketing research?
There are so many scientific methods which are useful for conducting the marketing research. It is the what you call the survey method, observation method, and also the other methods are there through questionnaires and schedules and other things. There are certain methods where day by day they have been also changing, and mostly they are using the latest to technology in analyzing the data. Just now Professor Venkateshwar was telling everything is right, sometimes our analysis goes wrong, and if you use a wrong tool, all your results will go wrong and your decisions also will be wrong.
So what are the emerging trends in marketing research, Professor Venkateshwar?
Lots of professionalism, lots of professional organizations, and one probably final thing I would say, the voter survey also is basically a market research phenomenon. You know, you go to the whole thing and then you try to find out. So I mean, trying out the latest trends, trying out with the rural population, rural consumers, and more professional organizations. And today, in fact, let me tell you one thing, that market research is also becoming a professional employment source. You know, people are opting it as a career. Some companies are setting up them as companies, market research organizations, and there are people who are, you know, top MBAs and all these guys, they are going into the research organization, and they are not just doing research in one area, but they are doing research across the globe. So where, because there is a lot of connectivity, all brands are global brands. Therefore, the market research is...
Ad agencies are also conducting research in the area of promotion, not only marketing department, and specialized ad agencies are there.
Then what is the role of media in understanding consumer behavior?
Media plays a very vital role. Nowadays, all the problems which have been what you call the brought to the notice of consumer, what you call the Protection Act and other things, everything media plays a very vital role. Thanks to the electronic media, more awareness, more representation, and very vocal. Anything is there that is to be represented immediately. We have been seeing the scrolls and also the report in a media, the effect. This is the solution which is being done, and lot of explosion of the information, new brands, not only the electronic media, internet and other things also, where lot of what you call the websites and other being developed, and you go and search for different search engines, different websites, you get lot of data, and that data will be compared. You need not go to the shops, you need not spend your time. Nowadays, the consumer is a very fast person and is not having the time, so that helps a lot for them in analyzing the data.
Thank you, Professor. Due to time constraint, we are unable to continue the discussion, but I thank each and every resource person, that is Professor H. Venkateshwarlu and Professor P. Purushottam Rao, for being with us and discussed many things about consumer behavior and marketing research. And I hope our audience, that is students of B.R. Ambedkar Open University, might have benefited a lot. I also thank not only professors but also technicians who have involved and made this program a grand success. Thank you one and all.